In 15th century Rome, St. Francis of Rome spoke of a constant presence beside her, a quiet light that never left. Not a vision for crowds, but a companion for streets, prayers, kitchens, and hospitals, guiding each step with gentle authority. She did not describe thunder or wings filling the sky. Instead, St. Francis spoke of a soft brilliance, calm and steady, appearing especially when choices were difficult, when the poor waited, or when danger quietly approached from unseen corners of daily life. What makes her testimony striking is not drama, but consistency. For decades, across illness, motherhood, widowhood, and service, the same guiding presence remained. St. Francis of Rome insisted this light was her guardian angel, entrusted to her soul. In a city marked by plague, political unrest, and visible poverty, her claims emerged from lived reality. St. Francis walked Rome's alleys tending the sick, and she said the angel often moved ahead of her, silently indicating where she was needed most. Unlike mystics who retreated into isolation, St. Francis of Rome lived fully among people. Her angelic encounters were woven into ordinary hours, suggesting not escape from the world, but divine assistance operating quietly, within exhaustion, service, and relentless responsibility. She claimed the angel's light dimmed when sin approached and brightened when truth prevailed, a moral compass rather than spectacle. St. Francis presented this not as personal privilege, but as evidence of God's mercy toward fragile human obedience. Church authorities listened carefully, noting her humility and lack of self-promotion. St. Francis of Rome never demanded belief, only testified calmly to what accompanied her daily path, trusting discernment rather than emotional persuasion to judge her words. In hospitals filled with suffering, she said the angel's presence became stronger. St. Francis believed heaven drew near where pain was greatest, not with miracles of noise, but with direction, courage, and an unexplainable peace amid decay. Her story challenges modern skepticism precisely because it lacks extravagance. St. Francis of Rome described guidance, not glory, accompaniment, not command. The angel did not replace her will, but sharpened it, asking obedience through clarity rather than fear. As we enter this account, we are not asked to chase spectacle, but to listen. St. Francis of Rome invites us into a quieter mystery, where heaven walks beside faithfulness and divine light chooses ordinary lives as its dwelling place. St. Francis of Rome was born in 1384 into a noble Roman family during a century scarred by war, plague, and instability. From childhood, she showed deep devotion, yet her holiness unfolded not in cloisters, but within marriage, motherhood, and civic responsibility. Married young according to custom, St. Francis embraced domestic life as spiritual vocation. Amid family duties and social expectations, she maintained disciplined prayer, charity, and fasting, believing holiness was not escape from the world, but faithful endurance within it. Rome in the early 15th century was a city of visible suffering. St. Francis organized aid for the poor, the sick, and abandoned, often opening her home as refuge. It was within this demanding service that the angelic guidance reportedly became constant. She described the guardian angel not as emotional comfort, but as practical direction. St. Francis said the light indicated where to go, whom to help, and when to withdraw, shaping discernment rather than overwhelming her senses with fear or ecstasy. Importantly, her confessor and spiritual advisors examined these claims cautiously. St. Francis of Rome submitted willingly to church authority, never asserting independence or infallibility. and accepted correction, silence, or restraint whenever discernment required humility and patience. During times of demonic oppression reported by others, St. Francis claimed the angel's light intensified, offering clarity rather than confrontation. The Church later noted her balance, absence of hysteria, and steady obedience as signs supporting authenticity. Widowed in 1436, St. Francis entered deeper service, founding a community of oblates. Even then, she spoke of the angel remaining near, not elevating her status, but urging greater humility, hiddenness, and perseverance in uncelebrated acts of mercy. Church investigation focused less on visions and more on fruit. St. Francis of Rome demonstrated charity, orthodoxy, emotional stability, and obedience, aligning with long-standing criteria the Church uses to evaluate extraordinary spiritual claims across centuries. After her death in 1440, testimonies continued to circulate, emphasizing the guardian angel's role as companion, not spectacle. Over time, the Church affirmed her sanctity, recognizing that her life itself, rather than visions alone, bore consistent witness. Thus, St. Francis of Rome stands not as an isolated mystic, but as a model of integrated holiness. Her angelic encounters fit within marriage, service, and obedience, reinforcing the Church's careful affirmation rather than sensational enthusiasm. In the quiet evenings of Rome, St. Francis of Rome learned to trust guidance without sight. The angel's light did not shout. It steadied her breathing, softened fear, and reminded her that obedience often feels small, hidden, and misunderstood by the world. She taught that heaven's presence does not remove suffering, but accompanies it. St. Francis of Rome believed the guardian angel strengthened her to endure grief, loss, and exhaustion, turning ordinary faithfulness into a silent offering pleasing to God, even when unseen by others. Near the end of her life, illness limited her body, but not her clarity. St. Francis of Rome said the angel remained visible, brighter than before, preparing her heart for death without terror, but with trust shaped by years of faithful companionship. Her testimony leaves a quiet question for believers today. If God assigns angels to guide souls, St. Francis of Rome suggests we may overlook them by demanding signs, instead of cultivating attentiveness, humility, and daily obedience in ordinary moments of life itself. She never urged others to seek visions. St. Francis of Rome urged trust, prayer, and service, believing that divine help is closest when unnoticed. The angel's light taught her that heaven often whispers where hearts are willing to listen patiently over time together. For weary viewers, her story offers comfort without illusion. St. Francis of Rome shows that holiness grows through guidance received while walking, working, and serving, not escaping life, but meeting God's assistance precisely within its demands day after day, faithfully sustained by grace. The Church remembers her not for spectacle, but for balance. St. Francis of Rome trusted discernment, authority, and fruit. Her guardian angel never replaced Christ, but quietly directed her toward deeper love, sacrifice, and hope, anchored in faith alone, throughout life's trials endured. As her earthly sight faded, the promise remained. St. Francis of Rome believed the angel would no longer guide by light, but yield to eternal vision, where faith becomes sight, and companionship finds its fulfillment in the presence of God. Her life invites a response, not applause. St. Francis of Rome asks whether we recognize God's quiet help today, whether we pause, listen, and follow the subtle guidance offered to every soul seeking faithfulness amid modern noise, doubt, and distraction daily around us. As this account ends, the invitation remains personal. If St. Francis of Rome walked with an unseen companion, perhaps we are not alone either. May this story stir trust, gratitude, and a quiet prayer rising simply from the heart today within you now.